Hello everyone, welcome back to the TJOmega channel and welcome back to YOLO Park. And if you have been following my news roundup videos for the past couple months, this should look very, very familiar. I have been glowing in just how anticipated this is for me because it is a very, very beautiful figure from photos, and now we get to see it in person. This is the AMK series Dinobot from Beast Wars. I have not anticipated a YOLO Park release like this in quite some time. I am very, very excited to dig into this. Now, if you like what you see in today's video, keep in mind you can check the link in the description below to go get your own, and it does help out the channel when you do. I very much appreciate if you use that link. Thank you very, very much. Let's roll into this. Now, the box, normally I would have this as like a display and just as a cover, and then we go, whoo, there's the finished figure. But no, we actually have to pay attention to the box this time because it's brand new. So we have a very nice send-up of the original Beast Wars packaging here. You see the familiar green glow around the character art. You see gimmickry announced. His blade can actually spin, which is cool. You get to see, the familiar fonts of the original Beast Wars box, as well as the scaling effect. But also, still have the full breakdown here on the back. That's all great. But the cool part is, we now have a Velcro flap in the front to let you see everything that you are getting without having to dig the whole thing apart, which I think is a really, really smart tactic. So it's always a little bit confusing explaining how a YOLO Park figure works because it's mostly built, but you basically have to do the final assembly yourself, which does give you this satisfaction of building your figure. But a lot of people don't really get that right off the bat. So this is a great way of actually displaying it and getting that idea across very easily. And I love this because I'm seeing YOLO Park kits like this a lot more often in the wild. So when Joe Schmo Public gets to see these for the first time, this is a great way of demonstrating what exactly it is. I like that we get more space for information as well. So you've got the original Beast Wars artwork there, which is great. We don't see that nearly enough. We have the bio that has been written specifically for this toy, but we also get little character quotes here, including one of his last lines from Code of Hero, which is great to see. So I'm going to go build this guy, and you just enjoy this jump cut.
Perhaps once I will get out of this infernal bubble.
And here we have the completed figure. Now, for comparison, this took me maybe 5 minutes. If you haven't heard the explanation from previous YOLO Park videos we've done, they are laid out in the plastic tray in such a way that all the parts you need on the right are on the right. All the parts you need for the left side are on the left. It's incredibly intuitive. You basically just go down the box and assemble in order. They give you some good instructions, but you can just kind of wing it and get there pretty easily too. It's incredibly intuitive building process. It's still fun to do. And you get this really nice looking Beast Wars Dinobot in the process. I mean, this is the reason I advocate for non-transforming Transformers. I have way too many people who still say if it doesn't transform, it's not a Transformer. Well, no. I want a good representation of the character, and sometimes that can't be done in transforming plastic. Look at this guy. Look at the head sculpt on him. Look at how good that looks. Look at it just all over. The texture that's accomplished, all the paint apps going all across the body, just perfectly replicating the animation model. The spinal detail, that slightly, I don't know how it is. It's almost like a dirty gold color. It's a subdued gold, just like a very slight dash of green in it. It's always an interesting color, but it's replicated here really, really well. Right down to the dino skin on the toes and the blue circles on the sides of the feet. All of this lavishly detailed, not a single thing missing. The extra bones along the sides here and down the back, all that include the spine, completely painted as well. Everything Like, they didn't miss a single detail on this, even the ridges in the helmet. Now, not that Hasbro wouldn't do this, but if you're trying to make it turn into a Velociraptor, that is going to come with some sacrifice. So, for size comparison, and just to demonstrate the point, here he is next to the Kingdom version of Dinobot. And even with the Takara release on the left, which has the, the improved paint apps and such, you're still sacrificing a lot of the bulk that you would expect. And a lot of the paint, too. Even Takara could not get the paint to look accurate on this mold. There's just limitations when it has to transform. So, we forgive this, and it is good for a shelf, but just to have that cartoon accuracy, this is just such a better way to go. It genuinely is. And it helps that it is a very, very good figure in general. So we looked over all of the paint. We looked over the sculpted details. Everything is pretty much spot on. And then they do everything else that's just really, really impressive. So for starters, we can go into the articulation from here. So it's a ball-jointed neck. It's a very stiff one. You have a rock at the base of the neck as well for added articulation and minor poses, but you still have plenty of room in that ball joint for looking up and down. It's a great range. On the shoulders, you do have a butterfly hinge. Now, this big old chest is going to get in the way, except they thought of that. The chest is on a double hinge. That way you have all the room in the world on these butterfly joints, and then you just kind of slide the head back up into place and enjoy your added articulation, which is great. It's a very smart inclusion to have. Beyond that, it's universal shoulders. There are 360 degrees all around, and the shoulder itself has a ton of range of movement beyond any natural position, but he is a robot. 360 degrees on the bicep rotation. You have a double jointed elbow. Fantastic to see there. Wrist rotation as well as a hinge. He is a swordsman. I would expect plenty of motion in the wrist, and I am getting it here. Makes me very, very happy. You have individual hinges for the fingers and both of his thumbs. That socket's going to come into play later. Just give me a minute. We will get there. Close up all that, and we'll go to the torso motion, which you have left and right here and rocking. You also have an ab crunch, which again, that hinge in the helmet's going to help you get more out of that. Let's see how much more. Just wiggle that out, and okay. Oh, yeah, that's actually pretty good. That's a pretty good bend. Close that up. 360 degrees at the waist. Hips, universal. Love to see. There's also a rock on the inside, so you can get extra extension if you're moving the leg outward. Love to see that. 360 degree thigh rotation. Knees, beyond 90-degree bend. Absolutely great range of motion in the knee. Ankles do have rotation as well as a tilt as well. And then you also have a toe hinge to complete all of that. Tons of articulation, and I wouldn't expect any less out of Yolo Park. They've done fantastic as far as making articulated figures go, and it's just, yeah, there's so many ways you just get such expressive poses out of this toy, and it's just really, really impressive. Like, all the way around, just looks absolutely fantastic. And just to be able to get subtle stuff too. Like, high articulation for poses is great, but like, in order to stand more naturally, in order to just have like a more natural stance to some things, like, you just need those little bits. When it's standing on a shelf, you don't want to just A-pose it, right? Like, you want to have some subtlety to show him looking a little bit more alive on a shelf. That's why I like little nuanced, very small bits of articulation added in. Now, we do have accessories to talk, and he does come with quite a few. So for starters, I'm going to go ahead and give him his sword. So, get him out of the way so this has a chance of focusing. The spinal sword is done up in purple, and I'm guessing this is just the accepted color that it is now. I always thought it was just chrome with lighting, but I understand in most lighting it kind of looked pinkish or purple, so I'm not going to argue that. but it is hidden, it is pinned here in the side of the handle, so you do get his proper weapon. Of course, you need the proper weapon. He is a swordsman. He is a warrior. A warrior needs his sword, and they've done a pretty good job on this one. But that's not enough. You also get the spin shield, or whatever you want to call it. The spin blade. I don't know, Dinobot's Beyblade. What did we ever call this? But that's going to peg in too. And here's the neat thing. So they did work in just a little bit of gimmickry that they typically do not include in these AMK kits. And here, it's free spinning blade. So just like always, just like the original toy. I mean, it's not motorized like the original toy, but you can spin the blade, and it's on a pretty good peg, so it does spin pretty freely. It's a neat little trick they threw in. I do appreciate it. But also, it can't fold up like the original toy, because he never did that in the show. However, just in case you do want a little bit of the toy function, the sword does peg into the weapon, so you do have that as well. Oh man, I just realized how dangerous I made this, so I'm just going to spin it like this to demonstrate. I really like that they included that little bit of nod to the toy. And we're not done, because we also have accessories for his head. Now, he does come with quite a few pieces for swapping out parts of his head. Here's what I mean. So we have a different mouth, which is a little bit more open, like he's speaking. But we also have this mouth, where he's opened up even further, almost like he is yelling. So you have your different expressions here, depending on which one you want to go with. But also, because Dinobot likes to scowl, we also have these narrower eyes that you can swap on, which I should probably have right side up. There you go. And then you also have this set of eyes with that slight green glow to them, which we can then attach to have his eye beams. Focus, please. Which is also a really cool thing to include. Now, in order to actually do this, we need to decapitate him. It's on a ball joint, don't worry. Now, here's the thing. In order to actually swap parts, you basically have to dismantle the entire head. And while this does seem like a lot of work for a swappable face, this actually does make it a lot more secure than it typically would be. So, once you get it deconstructed like that, we can basically decide how we're going to want this head to look. Now, a little bit of advisement, only some eyes connect to some faces, so you'll want to pay attention to which one you're using. So, for instance, this particular face with this nose ridge, this is the one you want to have those narrow eyes on, or the laser firing eyes. So, once you've got that decided, then you get to reassemble the helmet. All right, so put the gray piece back in like so. Then we can go ahead and reassemble the helmet. Make sure these little vents are pointed forward. Make sure you got them on the right side. Connect it like that. Hold it all together while you get the back piece put back on. That will lock the sides in place, and then helmet on top is going to lock everything down. There we go. There we go. It's a little involved, but you can get it done pretty easily once you figure out how the whole system works. It does give you a lot of optional expressions when you do. So, pop that back on, give him an appropriate pose, and let your Dinobot just let laser rip. It's a neat little trick. It, like I said, involved for a face system, but it does give you plenty of other options, which I do like. And that is pretty much going to do it for the AMK, YOLO Park AMK Dinobot. This thing is fantastic. I don't think I needed to tell you that. I mean, I think it pretty much demonstrates itself at this point. Yeah, just the posability, the accuracy to the animation, and yeah, just everything I would really want as far as like a Dinobot figure. It's just going to be a really, really cool looking toy to have on a shelf and just represent a character that means a lot to me. So yeah, like I said, if you like what you see here, The link in the description will take you to YOLO Park's page. You can get one yourself there. Very, very appreciated to anyone who does. And that is going to do it from me. So, thank you everyone for watching. I will see you next time.
Hello everyone, I am Astral Agent Magnetar, a Tokusatsu VTuber, and I am streaming 4 times a week over on Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoons, and a special late night one on late Friday/early Saturday. So come watch, come hang out, and let's make an impact together.